I want you to imagine your favorite meal. I want you to get a good picture of it. Can you taste it? Can you smell it? For a lot of us, we imagine a big piece of juicy meat with some potatoes and veggies to go along with it. But there's this one type of people that wouldn't typically think about eating meat as their favorite meal, and that is vegetarians. Now, I have been vegan for about 5 years now, so I have a good understanding of what it means to give up meat. I want you to think about the last time you ate. How did you feel? Did you feel like you had a bunch of energy, or did you feel slow and sluggish? Do you think it could be the food that you are eating to make you feel that way? As we go through this presentation, I want you to keep in mind some questions. What does it mean for you to give up meat? What is a vegetarian, and how do you see the world in 50 years if we don't change something? The food that we eat affects us and matters. How do you think the animals are treated that we eat? I want you to imagine that you're in a small, dark room, that you're crammed together with a bunch of other people, and if you move, you step on someone else's toes. How would that make you feel? Now you're in that same room and you're being force-fed your weight in food. You are so heavy by the time you're fully grown, you can't even go outside to see the sun. This is what's happening to the animals that we eat. Research from Pinard goes into more detail about how those animals are being treated just so we can have a piece of meat for dinner. We have to think about what we're eating. We are part of the problem when we mindlessly fill our plates with meat, when we take advantage of the animal protein, when we think that the animal protein will be here forever. But we are wrong to be thinking this way. We are not just taking advantage of the animals when we do this, we're also taking advantage of ourselves when we put something that's going to hurt us into our bodies. What we put into our bodies matter. When we put animals that have been force-fed and spent their days in darkness, do you think this is going to help you, or do you think this is going to hurt your body in the long run? We are in a dangerous cycle and we need to get out of it. What is the first thing you think of when you hear vegetarian? You think that you will no longer be able to have the best part of your meal. You think that you will no longer be able to eat meat. You think that it might not even be healthy not to have meat for your meals. But research from Loris and McNutt talks about how there's actually health benefits to being a vegetarian and how it can help the environment as well. For some vegetarians, they will no longer eat meat, but this is not set in stone. There are some vegetarians that will eat animal protein on occasion. What animal proteins can you eat if you become a vegetarian? Well, this gets a little tricky and it's all in who you ask. Research from Simpson goes into how some vegetarians will not eat any animal protein whatsoever, but there are some vegetarians on occasion that will eat milk, eggs, and occasionally fish. When you start thinking about it, you have to do what is best for you. If you have to have milk in your morning coffee, then have the milk. The big thing is to cut out as much of the large production of animal protein for human consumption. You have to think about what the animals are going through. You have to think about yourself as well. How we're killing our environment, how that needs to stop. The large production of the animal protein needs to stop. Research from Glovin says that if we keep down this road, we are going to run out of resources. The resources that we have are precious and something that we should protect. This is why what we eat matters. No one wants to think that they're hurting the animals and that we're abusing our power. But we have to face reality and face what we are doing. We need to change, and we need to change the way that we eat so that the resources that we have will be here for a long time. Research from Sinard talks about how in 50 years the earth that we know and love will look very different. The environment will be destroyed and the trees will be gone. Maybe you don't care about the animals, maybe you don't care about the environment, but how many of us are willing to go out and kill the food that we eat? Or would we rather go to the grocery store and just pick up a piece of meat and go home and not even think about what that animal went through? It's not all about the animals, it's about you and what you put in your body and how that affects you. If you want to feel better, then you have to change the way you eat. If you want our resources to be around forever, you have to change the way that you eat. You have to realize what we're doing won't just affect us now, but will affect us for the rest of our lives. Change is never easy, no matter how big or small it is. These questions you have to answer for yourself. And you have to hold yourself to those changes that you want to make. Why do you want to change the way you ate? Why did you want to become a vegetarian? How do you want to see the world in 50 years if we change? Remember what it means for you if you become a vegetarian, not just for today, but for the rest of your life. When you put something into your body, you want it to help you, not hurt you. I want to challenge everyone here today in person or watching this as a video to give up meat for 3 weeks. If it helps you, wouldn't that be worth giving it a try? And if you don't feel better in those 3 weeks, what was the harm? I know giving up something, no matter how big or small, is never easy, but I want to thank you for listening and for hopefully giving the 3-week challenge a try.